Through you, Mr. Chairman, at this point, I do have some concerns with our costs related to that area. I'm not looking at an increase in that area, but I'm looking at us hopefully having enough money in those accounts at this point in time to meet our current needs, but no more additional funds from the state.
Thank you, Mr. McCarl. Mr. Percy.
Question for Dr. Conway. There's an article in today's JI about South Windsor implementing all-day kindergarten this year, and they received some grants. Is there something we can go after, or?
Actually, Collins has received them as well. We are not eligible for those particular grants, so we have looked into them.
Because?
We don't fall, in fact, the mayor, Mr. Ward, might know the answer to, we don't fall into small town status. That was the reason we couldn't get the Tolland grant, and there was another reason for the South Windsor.
Wanted to make sure we were active.
Yes, no, we checked those out right away.
Thank you.
I was going to make a motion. I won't be very popular with Mr. Lemoy, but I was going to make a motion that we, instead of purchasing 52 laptops for our staff, that we would cut it in half by 26 with a savings of $30,420.
Which line item is that?
57712 in central office.
57712, and it's a reduction to 26 laptops to be purchased. I have a motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Kemp.
Whether it's a dollar amount or a number of laptops, I guess I'd like to hear from Mr. Lemoy. If there were a dollar amount reduced for laptops, you were specifying a number, I guess, based on a particular product.
Point of order, Mr. Poole, there was no second on the motion.
Oh,
No. Second. I'll second.
sorry, thank you.
I thought he was speaking to a second, actually.
No.
I'll take Ms. Bush as a second on the floor.
So what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask Mr. Lemoy, if there were a reduction in that particular line item, would he change the product that he would be buying, or would he simply reduce the number of the particular item that he had in mind?
No, I would not change the product. The original reason that I stated, we were trying to interface with a very sophisticated network that we've coordinated with the town, and putting lower quality machines on the network is not a good solution. So I would not be in favor of that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Other discussion? Ms. Sarn.
Although I understand the intent, I can't support it, Ann, because I feel like we take one step forward and one step back when we say that technology is important to us and we fund it, and then we take a step backwards. I just can't do that.
Clarifying question, please. In doing the numbers, what was the number, please, that you were looking at?
$30,420. Is that correct?
I'm just looking at 57712, and the total increase is $65,640 in that line item in central office, but that also includes the 25 Chromebooks.
Right, I
For the
wasn't
high
taking
school
that. I was just doing
people.
11. I could use laptops as 1,170, I think, and I was multiplying that by 26.
Thank you.
I don't know if my math's right.
Other discussion? Mr. Kemp.
I'm sorry, would you share with me how much money would be left in the technology item after the motion, should the motion pass? I'd like to get a sense of how much we would still be committing to the technology initiative.
The reduction of line item 57712 under central administration, the reduction would be $30,420.
It's about 40,000.
35,212.
And the request was
7139.
Sorry, I apologize.
57712.
That's correct. It's on page 4 of 4 on central administration. 71,390 is the original figure minus 30,420. And that accounts for a number times 26. Any further discussion or clarification needed? Seeing none, I'm going to call this motion to a vote by show of hands. This is a reduction, line item 57712, reduction of 26 laptops totaling $30,420. All in favor by show of hands? By show of 4. All opposed? By show of 3. Motion passes. Ms. Gold.
Question about 53332, Board of Legal Services. Last year expenditure was 15. Our reports for year to date. Year to date is encumbered is 11,000. The budget was for 75,000. My question is that high because of the negotiations, contract negotiations we had this year?
Mr. Pearl?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, that is correct.
So the assumption is we will, because of the contracts that are coming up, we will spend 75,000.
That's our projection. That line item, Mr. Chairman, also obviously includes other legal services that may come up during the year, having funds available for it, maybe other employee issues that may arise, have those funds available possibly for.
So the assumption is we're going to spend the $64,000 between now and the end of the fiscal year?
You could, if you could. That's the assumption I'm just looking at, correct?
Mr. Percy?
To Mr. Vaccaro, the electric account, I know we swapped all our schools and lights over, and I know we're paying loans off for those, but we are still realizing some savings over those loans. You flat funded it just for that reason?
Correct. Well, Mr. Chairman, flat funding does show savings.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's exactly.
But you don't expect a savings there this year?
Not this year.
Thank you.
Ms. Gold?
And the budget figure that we're down to, what would the budget figure be, the overall budget figure be as the last motion?
The number I have is 52,051,165. So 52051,165, and I looked to Ms. Revive, Mr. Vaccaro, who was out.
It's going to be slightly under 8% now.
And does that figure include the $671,000? And the allowances?
The Alliance System grant isn't,
It's not in the budget, so,
budget.
and there's no need to take that into account.
That's correct. Ms. Bush?
I don't have exact figures, but I'd like to see the smart words phased in a little slower. Instead of 10 per school, I'd like to reduce that to 8 per school and realize the savings.
What is your motion?
My motion is to reduce on line item 57710, reduce the smart boards from 10 per school, and because each school has a different amount, bring that down to a minimum of 8 per school. I don't have an exact number amount because of the numbers, the difference in the numbers for each school. But I'd like to see it be an even amount, but a minimum of 8 per school.
In order to come up with that number, we need to know exactly how many each will have. And
Exactly.
how many they requested.
That's why I was trying to do the figures here, and I couldn't quite get a number and a realization of a...
I'm assuming if those numbers bring the schools up to 10, then subtracting 2 from each one would bring it down to 8. If those are the numbers, 4 for Lake, 3 for Center, 7 for Northeast, and 2 for Rockville High, brought it to 10. And if we subtracted each 2 from each of those schools, or subtracted 8 of the 16 smart boards, we would be at 8. Would have to do something.
Okay, that would put it right now. Same mistake. 57,720. Reduce it by 28,860. Oh, maybe I have the wrong one here. Sorry.
So your motion is to reduce account 57720, 7710 by half, bringing the,
Just the one line item for smart boards.
and that's going to be 29,360 is the reduction. I
Correct.
have a motion. Do I have a second on that motion? Ms. Fisher? I have a second. Is there discussion on the motion? Seeing no hands, I'm going to call that motion to a vote by a show of hands. All in favor of reduction 57710, reduction of $29,360. Count 4 hands, and all those opposed? I count 3 hands. Motion passes. Other discussion or action? Are there any requests of administration going into our final budget meeting that's scheduled next week? Ms. Sarman.
I'm sure you've all been following along and doing the math, but if Mr. Vaccaro would be willing to start with our reductions, show those reductions and translate them into a dollar amount and percentage.
So it looks like 7.97% currently is where we stand. 7.97.
We go through what,
I'm showing 207,000 was the 3 FTE.
correct?
I'm showing 30,420 was the laptop reduction. I'm showing 29,360 was the smart board reduction.
Correct. Prescription drugs,
Yeah.
20.
Yep. Prescription drugs was 20 and unemployment was 7,300.
Correct. For a new total of $52,021,805.
Correct.
And that would be a 7.97% increase at this point. $52,021,805. 7.97.